You've been in 3 games this year. They've all been close. I was texting your GM yesterday. I'm like, I'm going to have a nervous breakdown. Could you play a game where it's decided by the middle of the third? But it is interesting, Brandon. These close games over the course of a season, they build something. There's a certain inertia, and I want you to talk about that because you got a young quarterback and a rookie left tackle and a brand new center, and what these close games, win or lose, are doing for your football team.
Well, I think, Colin, you start with the respect we have for all 3 of our first opponents. I think Washington, coming off being a playoff team, certainly they were the number 2 total defense the previous year. You go on the road in your first game and to play like we did against them, we kind of had a historic day on third down and, kind of a 4-minute, drill to kind of finish the game with the ball. And I felt like that was a really big confidence builder for our team. And then, you go to the second week against Dallas, a premium offense, one of the top 2 or 3, in my opinion, in the league. A $40 million quarterback, $100 million receiver, $90 million running back, 2 of the top O-linemen of the last decade. And that's a really quality team. And on defense, Dan Quinn's doing a really good job coaching over there. And so, when you play these type of teams that it's going to come down to the end. And then yesterday, you're talking about one of the premium coaches in the NFL, a premium franchise over the last 8 years since he's been here. And I think what it builds is, hey, what it's going to take when you play against quality teams. It's going to come down to the end. That's how the NFL is built. And so you have to be your best at the end. And for us, it really starts, with our quarterback who gives us a chance in every game, and then really coming together as a team in all 3 phases and knowing, hey, guys, we're going to have to be our best at the end of the game. All these end of game situations, low red. And I think that's what's expressed itself through 3 weeks. And I'm impressed with our guys, not surprised, proud of them. And we still got a lot of work to do. So, it's been exciting. Corey
Linsley's been superb so far at center. Rashawn Slater, left tackle, has been great. And then, you got some depth on the offensive line. You went for it on a 4th and 4 yesterday, and on the road, loud place, young quarterback. When you made that decision, did you and Justin Herbert, had you talked about at practice this week? Hey, if we get a 4th and 3, was it about field position? Like how you have to make that decision, Brandon, in literally 10, 12 seconds. Take me through that decision to go for it.
Well, I think number one, there was a really fierce crosswind in that game, really fierce, and I think that played a component in it. But I think the number one storyline is I really trust Justin Herbert, and I felt like our matchups were good outside, and I wanted Justin to be the decider in the game. Okay, that's what was really important to me, and I feel like what you can't do against that team that we just played is be a field goal operation, and you can't play like that versus that team. And I felt like Justin having the ball in his hands would give us the best chance to win the game, not just compete in the game. And I felt like, obviously it didn't unfold exactly how we wanted because we had the procedure penalty,
right,
which pushed it to 4th and 9. But I still felt like at 4th and 9, like in my mind, we were still going. And I felt like, Justin operated exactly how I knew he would. And I felt like he was the best player on the field. And during the week, we really talked about how we were going to play this game. And I felt like we played that game like that throughout the first, 4 quarters, Colin, just before we even got to that point. And I felt like putting the ball in his hands was the best idea at that point in time.
Yeah, and it's a lot to ask. Last week, Justin had a bad pick, red zone pick. It happens. These guys are young. We're watching rookie quarterbacks struggle. What was as a defensive guy, your eyes have been on defense your entire life. Now you're the head coach, so you have to be at 30,000 feet and watch the whole operation. Was there a moment early for you with Justin Herbert? Could have been in camp, could have been the first time you met him, that you just felt like, boy, he's different. Like he gets it. Like, what was your epiphany moment with Justin Herbert, knowing like this is not your typical 24-year-old quarterback?
Well, I think what I tried to do when I got hired, Colin, is I met with almost everybody on the team. And unprompted, I could not get over the amount of respect that his teammates had for him. I'm talking rookie, veteran, offense, defense, specialist. I couldn't get over unprompted the amount of respect his teammates had for him. And as you know, in the pre-draft process, that was like a topic of conversation about, his leadership style.
Right.
Team. And I just couldn't get over the love and the respect that they had for this guy and his work ethic and his intangibles. And I felt like I had a good sense of how talented he was. Certainly not the strongest sense, because once you are with him on the practice field, you have a much deeper respect for his physical gifts. But I think when people talk about Justin, and what's truly amazing about him is the first thing that they talk about are not his physical gifts. They talk about his intangibles, his toughness, his smarts, that he's one of the guys. And I felt like when you meet him, he does have that presence, that you're looking for from a franchise quarterback. I think that presence can be defined a little bit differently player to player, but he definitely has that type of presence. And I just know how much I love competing with the guy.
So the Raiders are 3-0. And I tell you what, they had 9 different receivers catch it. I'm sure you've already looked at film. I mean, you probably didn't sleep last night. But when you flew back from Kansas City, I know you're watching film. And so I'm interested, your first look at film on the Raiders, because I have to be honest, they're now generating a pass rush. They didn't for 2 years. I think Derek Carr is wildly underrated. I've been saying this for years. I think he's really special. Your first view of Raiders film, what did you see?
Well, I think that you're spot on about Derek Carr, number one. I think he's one of the elite passers in the league, and I think he always has been. This guy he's got a really quick release. He can throw off platform. He's got a lot stronger arm than people realize. He's really, really sharp, really smart, really sharp. And I think that you're just seeing him truly get a feel for what John wants to do on offense, and they've surrounded him with a lot of players. Okay, this guy's got a lot of weapons in all levels of the backfield: runners, tight ends, wideouts, and then they've reshaped their O-line. And I think that you're seeing that identity express itself with him leading the charge. And I think that he's playing at a premium level for the quarterback position. So I think you start there, and then I think when you have weapons in all 3 levels of the backfield, I think that it makes you really dangerous. Darren Waller is one of the unique players in the league, really unique. And then, Foster Moreau is a really complete tight end. All right. And so they can play the game in 2 tight ends. Okay. Which actually gives them a big advantage because they can play 22, they can play 12, they can spread you out within 2 tight ends, which makes them very difficult to defend. And then they've added a lot of different types of wideouts. Okay. Guys with gas, guys, they can play in the slot and get open. And then they've got a bunch of runners that I really respect: Jacobs, Drake, Peyton Barber. Like, these guys are really good runners. So I feel like you've got a really complete offense, and that's why you're seeing them score, and that's why you're seeing them gain a bunch of yards.
By the way, those flight home, I don't know if you guys took flights when you were coaching John Carroll and James Madison. I'm sure you probably did. But when you fly home having beaten the Chiefs, be honest, that was a great 3-hour flight yesterday.
It was. I think that anytime you can go on the road in the National Football League or any other level and win, that you have to respect that and you have to cherish it. And I think what's awesome on the plane is when you can go up to the front and to be with your guys and kind of unpack the game, talk to Justin Herbert and Chase, up there in the front, talk to some of your defensive guys, DJ, and what just happened actually, and, joke about some things that didn't go well, and have that moment to kind of decompress, be with your coaching staff, and just really enjoy each other, because number one, you have to respect how hard it is to win, especially on the road, especially against a team like that. And so I think we're at the beginning here with the Chargers, but it was definitely a really nice ride home.
All right. The Bolts, 2-1, got the Raiders. It's going to be wild. There's going to be I love your defense, but there's going to be some points scored. Brandon, you're not going to shut them out. So they're not shutting you out either. That's going to be a crazy one.
Yeah, it was like that yesterday. When you play against offenses this premium, and quarterbacks this good, it's going to be a last possession type of game. And we got to play as a team, that's for sure, because that's what happened yesterday, Colin. We played as a team, and that's why we were able to finish it. Congrats to you and the Bolts. Thanks, Brandon. Thank you, Colin. Have a great day.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd, or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.